signature composition here. Nova can just take Baptiste before it's banned against them. But Vox is looking really good. Truth is a monster on Vox. Baron, not so much. Something that, yep, they're going to go with their signature composition here that they used to win against Gangstars, which worked out well for them. And the Baptiste is locked in. So they are tryharding for sure in this draft, I believe. Now, Echo Fox, they usually pick like Glaive, Arden on this B side here. Sometimes they also have tried Kestrel Celeste in one of the other games. So their draft is very different. So it's hard to predict what they'll pick here. But I think comfort-wise, they may go for the Glaive or Arden here. These are two captains that are very strong. But they're going to instead get the Vox, pick up the Vox here, and then potentially ban away Idris or a combination that they don't want Truth to have along with his Baptiste.
Alright, so next bans, like I said, Idris, very likely a ban that could come through. Baron as well, I think would be a smart ban for Echo Fox, just because otherwise you are going to give that Baron over to Nova. But Nova, the fact that they didn't first pick the Baron, and you start to wonder, is this something that they're even willing to pick up or wanting to play? And well, not going to find out because that is the ban. I think that is the smart ban to make here for Echo Fox.
Yeah, just deny that going on through, especially when you've got the Vox for yourself. Now Black Feather going to be the counterban.
Yeah, and I think Kestrel looks really good here for Nova. So Echo Fox here, I think if they don't take Kestrel, Nova's probably going to pick it up. I think here Echo Fox potentially could pick up a Samuel that's pretty good into Baptiste if he doesn't get locked down. But I think they probably go for a captain like Arden or Finn. Finn is actually good because Finn can basically stand his ground against the Baptiste composition. So they may actually opt for the Finn, but instead they're going to go with the Arden here. And now Nova can pick that Kestrel, that Kestrel Samuel composition that they used and played so well against Gangstars and that had them so much success. And Kestrel on Truth is deadly, and he can play a mean weapon Kestrel into a Vox for sure.
Yeah, we've seen Kestrel is it is going to be locked in the end. Kestrel is one of these heroes that can be super powerful. Again. Samuel locked in as well. So we have this very powerful composition from Nova. We've seen them have great success.
This is what they need to be doing in this situation. I think they were maybe thought, okay, Echo Fox has no points. We can get a little bit fancy on them, and very quickly learn that that is not the case.
They may do Jungle Celeste here, or okay, Scarf. Yeah, one of the high range mages here because they have Echo Fox has played Celeste. So Scarf here makes sense because he can Scarf can outrange Kestrel and Samuel here. So, but I do like Nova's draft. This is their signature composition. I think they're going to do very well here and win.
All right, we'll see whether Nova can pull themselves together a little bit. They didn't do so hot in that first game. I do want to quickly touch on the topic of the fact that Irwin was actually playing from the jungle last game. Previously, we've seen him in the carry role. Do we feel like Echo Fox has kind of leveled up with him going into the jungle and then Super Shot going into the lane? Do we feel like that was a significant impact on this team?
I think that was based more on the hero. I think for this one, Irwin's a better Vox player than Super Shot, so I believe Irwin should be on Vox and Super Shot will be on Scarf.
So just more of a flexible roster then.
That's what I think it's going to happen.
All right, so looking at these compositions then, how do we feel this one's going to go? Do we feel like Nova's going to come back 1-1?
I think they should. With this composition, it's a very strong composition. It's one that they know how to play, one that they kind of put on the map last week with this Captain Baptiste. And as long as it gets played similarly to how they did last week, they should be able to make this 1-1.
Okay, Sweetjay?
This is their comp, their signature comp, so I think Nova's going to take this game.
So do we think then, if that's the case, that maybe last game Nova weren't necessarily trying as hard as they should have been trying?
Honestly, it's kind of troll to pick a Crow into like a Baron and a Finn. Like Crow cannot stick on Baron; he can just jump away easily. So I think this is a more serious draft, and Nova is going to win. Truth is on Kestrel, and I'm betting my money on Truth on Kestrel here.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, Truth definitely can do some serious work on Kestrel. We are just waiting for one of the players to be fully ready before we jump on into this game. But definitely that Kestrel going to be a huge impact. What is it that Echo Fox need to do to finish this one off? The answer is going to be win the game. We want to know who you guys are going to be voting for. Can you tell that the game's ready? Hashtag Vainglory on Twitter. Let us know who you're supporting. Can Echo Fox get a 2-0 of their dreams, or is Nova going to come back on into this one? Let's find out as we head onto the House of Bold.
And it is going to be the Starboy Baptiste special here in Game 2 of this series. I think there's an argument to be made. Sweetjay kind of touched on it a bit, and I'll expand on it, that perhaps Owen may be a better Vox, but if Supershot is a, a worse Scarf, then perhaps playing around your weaker player who's more comfortable on Vox makes more sense. Owen can play Scarf very well, and we saw that last game. We'll have to see if Echo Fox can continue the dominance that they had in the last game, Excoundrel, and take this 2-0 over Nova.
It'll be huge for them, because if they can then win this, Dalsy, you were talking about the fact that they play the winner of the Tempo Storm and the...
Hammers.
Who are Tempo Storm playing?
Hammers.
Hammers. They take the winner of the Tempo Storm Hammers matchup. And the winner of that potentially puts himself out of challenge battle area. So this could be the weekend that Echo Fox secure their place in the VG8 and not go back to the challenge battle. So this is a big game for them to have to win. They don't want to be able to push this to a situation where they might have to fight again for their position.
Currently Nova putting on the pressure. Batiste and the Samuel very strong in the early games. Lone Delphi though gets slowed to oblivion. Slater, a lot of damage onto him, but they will turn around here. Tempo Storm currently 1-0 up in their series at Scoundrel. I think that if Tempo Storm win their series, then they are out of the challenge battle zone, and so they'll just be looking to secure their spot in Split 2. And of course for Echo Fox, winning this series is very huge for that dynamic, and you know, Nova, they've already made a pretty good run for it in last week's games to then come into this week and lose to Echo Fox, who've been struggling all season due to their roster instability. Would be a shame for Nova as well.
We'll have to see. It looks like a Starboy on his Batiste as well. That is a big pick for Starboy. It was, again, you know, you saw it in earlier. Humanist was doing a little bit of information about the play of the week. Starboy was the orchestrator of that. There's a bit of a fight taking place here, though, Darcy.
Yeah, it's in the enemy jungle, and is Owen going down. First blood going over to Lone Delphi. His Samuel so strong. He is going to be finding a second here, as Slater will not be able to escape. He goes under the turret here, basically seals his doom. Lone Delphi will easily find that kill. I feel like Starboy may have lost out on assist. No, he does not. So that's good for him. And Truth puts a lot of damage down onto Super Shot as well. So early leads to the side of Nova.
Good for Nova again. They have a composition that has worked so well for them. We talked about it in the past. They got the play of the week with a composition that was specifically just like this, although it was into a very different style of composition that they got the win. They won against a hard engage, you know, heavy threat composition where there was a Koshka, and Batiste obviously doing so well against Koshka. Really shut down Gangstars in that particular series. This time they're going up against a double range. And the one thing that I think Batiste does struggle with fairly heavily is the ability to deal with double range, especially high damage double range as well. Batiste kind of has to rush in then, and he doesn't really want to put himself on the front line, Dalsy, because he isn't exactly the tankiest guy in the world.
And, you know, Truth takes a huge chunk of damage and almost securing the kill onto Truth. I think it's worth noting, a Scoundrel, that Starboy is playing in an uncomfortable position right now. You know, has been having some issues. Oh my gosh, Truth! I think he escapes with the health potion ticking. But Starboy is playing in an uncomfortable position, as he's been having some troubles with his device. Currently playing on his phone. Lone Delphi very deep here, should be okay to escape. When you do change devices from a tablet to a phone, that's a huge screen reduction. It does make
Speaking from experience, I was going to say, like, I can't play on a phone. It's impossible for me to play on a phone. I cannot play at the same level I play on my tablet. So I completely understand this. It is a really difficult situation to be in.
Currently, Nova maintaining their lead. I think for them, Lone Delphi needs to continue this. The pressure onto Scarf early will be huge for them. Owen didn't really feel any jungle pressure at all in the previous game. In fact, all the pressure Lone Delphi was putting was into Vision gaming Scoundrel in the lane. And, you know, for Owen, he was able to just walk into the backs, take them away very comfortably with no threat. Echo Fox now will have that threat of Lone Delphi, but if Owen learns Spitfires in groups like that, then Lone Delphi will be questioning whether or not he can take out this Scarf.
Again, Erwin was one of the major factors that the composition won with the last time round, and I think this time again, got to look to him to carry in this particular instance, because I was so impressed with him last game. I thought he was an absolute star for the team, and it seems to have made a huge difference him coming back into this roster, Dalsy. and giving them a bit of confidence as well. I've not seen Echo Fox play with this level of confidence before, and it's just nice to have that winning roster back together, you know, after their success in the VIS. To do so well and actually get your name on the board in the VG8 is fantastic too, because I don't believe Echo Fox has ever had a VG8 win, right?
No, they've had a Challenge Battles win, but that is it, Scoundrel. So this would be actually their first VG8 win in its entirety. Oblivion, though, gonna put Supershot to sleep. In fact, Owen as well, they're both under threat. Owen will not escape. It's a double for Lone Delphi. Fantastic Oblivion play there. And of course, at this early stage of the game, there are no Crucibles. Slater hasn't built it yet, hasn't been able to, so a huge swing of gold over to Nova again.
Well, this is the composition that Nova did so well with in the past, and they are starting off a really good start. They're going to try and put pressure on Slater, who I think was trying to hold the wave long enough, but he will just pay for it with his life, and that may result in him losing the turret regardless. It was a big wave to hold. He has bought enough time for Erwin to get over. Maybe sacrificing his life for the safety of his turret was worth it. But Lone Delphi just looking to put pressure on the sidelines here. Now Supershot could be the target. The Ordain comes through. He does jump out of it. The one-shot, one kill.
Ooh. A lot of damage. No death. Erwin's sticking around, but look at the energy. Lone Delphi's deplete, Starboy's deplete, and Truth wants to go home. So they will keep their turret alive here at Scoundrel, if not through a couple of human sacrifices here. 2,000 gold is the lead, though, accumulated by Nova. It's not a huge lead, but it is definitely a lead that Nova can look to expand upon with a couple more fights.
Agreed, absolutely. And I think it's going to be turtle mode soon for Echo Fox. The best thing that I think they can do is look to hold on to their turret for as long as physically possible, dear Darcy, because that will be the major thing for them. They're going to want to be able to retain losing a global gold snowball in the favor of Nova. Get Supershot towards an item spike. Looks like he's working towards what's likely going to be a tension bow. Erwin maybe needs that broken myth before these fights can really start to turn in their favor. But oh my word, the range of that Malice and Verdict here on Lone Delphi. And Lone Delphi is known to be a pretty darn good Samuel. So he's on a very comfortable pick for himself as well.
Yeah, the Cruel, a little bit different. Clearly with the 2.6 changes, teams are starting to experiment and realize that Cruel has a place in the meta. Lots of damage down onto this turret, lots of damage down onto Slater and Supershot as well. Owen trying his best to keep his farm alive, but he's been caught up to the lane so often, so he's slipping behind on that game. 6 CS, that's a lot in the jungle. That's going to be Slater, Ordain, that's going to be Supershot, just taken on down by that extended range of the Malice and Verdict. And the turret falls as well. 2,000 gold becomes 3,000 ex-Scoundrel, and they have gold miner advantage position as well. They could look for it. They won't just yet, but Nova, the snowball has started. And there's the Echo.
Starboy already picked up his Echo here. The double fear should be enough to control the pace of these team fights nicely, Dalsy. I don't know if you can turtle hard enough against the double fear coming out from Slater. Coming out from Starboy. It also renders the Crucible that Slater has picked up fairly innocuous because, you know, Crucible's good for blocking one fear. Can't block two, I'm afraid.
No, there's 2 fears and an Oblivion to deal with, ex-Scoundrel. That's a lot of blocks necessary. Owen will have to get his own. Supershot has one. Good. But Owen will need his own. When you have this much CC to deal with, there is no way that Slater can block it all. He may even opt in to get himself his own reflex block, just so he can, you know, walk out of an Ordained if necessary. Or of a Oblivion and not have to burn the global, that is the Crucible. Tough times here. It's times like this when you wish you could build 2 Crucibles, ex-Scoundrel, but it's not really Scarf's. Scarf doesn't really want to be building a Crucible. Maybe Xbox will be forced to.
I reckon Vox could build a double Crucible, though it is something that I have seen when double Crucible is absolutely necessary. It does make you a fairly tanky target too. Here comes Lone Delphi though.
Yeah, coming in, Slater going to face tank these Malice and Verdicts. Will be able to walk away. They have that gauntlet wall they can set up as soon as Erwin and Supershot feel comfortable. Supershot, Poison Shiv, as well as that Tension Bow. Erwin has himself the components for the Eve of Harvest. They're going to look to contest. There's the gauntlet going down. Fearsome Shade as well. Slater dives the wall, gets the fountain out. Starboy is going to have his ultimate reset, and the gold miner will be taken by Nova.
Well, that's yet more advantages going towards Nova. Global Gold churning in their favor. Erwin desperately ranking up towards those tier 3 items. He finished his Eve of Harvest second. It is something that he did last game. He went Eve of Harvest as a second item. Then he finished at the Broken Myth, but he's a long way away from a Broken Myth finishing at this point in time. Super Shot also has yet only got 2 items up against Truth, who's working towards his Tyrant's Monocle. Tier 2 boots already there. And Lone Delphi very close to finishing up his Broken Myth. He'll need about 300 more gold, and he'll have that in the back pocket too. It's up to Erwin to land some snipes here. What that is?
Whoa, Erwin! That is very aggressive. He doesn't walk out of the Ordained. His block does nothing. The Fearsome Shade pushes everyone away. Erwin trying to take down Starboy. Almost finds the kill. Starboy's Fountain comes up. The one shot won't connect. And Echo Fox survived to stay for now. Here comes Lone Delphi looking for the kill, but this may be too aggressive. Perhaps not. Slater just face tanking the damage. Truth going to get some sustain from that Treant. Echo Fox surely needs to disengage at this point. Slater does have a Fountain, but he's holding on to it forever. Not even using it as Super Shot almost loses his life.
I'm gonna say Erwin probably just outplayed me there. He just the Eve of Harvest doing such work with the goop. Actually, I think he's probably gonna get taken.
Put to sleep. Yeah. Ooh, doesn't die. Fountain keeps him alive. Slater's Crucible comes off. Cooldown just as the Oblivion hits. Lone Delphi a lot of damage. There's an active camo trap. Super Shot walks into it. Oh, Slater as well. They will walk out of the Ordained. No, they won't, since Super Shot didn't use the Crucible, and that's going to be a block onto the Gauntlet. Echo Fox just not being allowed to find a kill.
But not hemorrhaging too much gold either, Dalsy. And when you've got a Scarf on your side, remember, general rule of thumb is Scarf at 15 minutes is pretty strong. And if you can get that far without losing too much on the map, it's not the end of the world. So Erwin is now working towards his Broken Myth. Once he finishes that and he's landing consistent Spitfires, there is a hope for Echo Fox still. They are still 5,000 gold behind, though. It is a large mountain to have to come back from. Big item spikes being hit by Truth as well. Finished his Tyrant's Monocle. Delphi's got his Broken Myth on board now. The one issue is, I guess, that there isn't really any way. There's no Atlas yet. You can't stop Super Shot going to town. You can't Atlas him. The Crucible's not there for the Gauntlet. You're going to rely on individual reflex blocks for that. Because you went for that Echo as a second item. Hasn't yet had a huge impact, but again, it's always going to be in the back minds of Echo Fox that engages can be turned around very quickly with a double Batiste ultimate.
Yeah, certainly can. That's such a hard thing to play around as well.
Decent
Positioning has to be key. I feel like for Echo Fox, they can afford to attempt to just poke out with this Scarf for some time. But the Samuel also can do the same thing. So can the Kestrel as well. So perhaps they can't. The Gauntlet will be their engaged tool. Super Shot has hit his breaking point, so he's full damaging Scoundrel. This is where you start to think Echo Fox look for some engages, with Erwin nearing this Broken Myth, a couple of 100 gold away from it. A minute or so. They're getting so close to where they want to be. There's the group going down. Slater taking so much damage though with the Drifting Dark, Malice of Verdicts. Echo Fox won't be looking for a fight just yet. Slater, a second left on his Gauntlet. It's up now. There's a split from Nova. This is the time, if any, that you would look for an engage, but they don't. Slater's going to go back to base. Erwin just trying to put the pressure on. Slater takes that Glimmer Shot to the face. He really needs to go back to base now. Nova just keeping the siege game up, Big Scoundrel.
What I really like about what Erwin did there, it was a great play from Nova to lock up Slater, but Erwin's goop placement did make it very difficult for Nova to come in. That's a big move onto Super Shot.
It is. They throw the Fountain as well. They realize they have to fight now. There's the Gauntlet going down. Lone Delphi trapped inside it. Fearsome Shade knocks everyone back. Super Shot's isolated, and boom, a crit from this Kestrel. That Oblivion won't connect, but Erwin gets destroyed. So does Slater. It's a triple kill for Truth on his Kestrel. They're going to be finding this turret. I'm sure they find another one.
Just as I complimented goop placement from Erwin, he rushes the Truth and doesn't quite predict his movements well enough. Goop doesn't land, doesn't get the kill onto him, and he gets very easily sniped out by Truth, who is now hitting like a truck at this point. Double critical with the Lucky Strike picked up as well. Wonder if he'll go towards the more accepted variant of the Kestrel build, which includes a Tornado trigger, so you have the ability to both flex into your basic attacks and your Glimmer Shots. Yes, he does. Gives him very good versatile movements. He's also going to infuse up. This is a very, very strong Kestrel now. Can't really do that against her, basically.
No, you cannot. And Starboy has got his War Treads. Lone Delphi is at 3 damage items. Eve of Harvest. Erwin signaling that he's not ready, and he's not. He needs another 500 gold, Scoundrel. He needs that Broken Myth. Going to infuse up, which means that he is now 1,000 gold from his target. Here comes the engage from Nova. Super Shot takes all of that up. The one shot won't connect. The Fountain heals him up. But Starboy is just veering them into the wall. This is going to be a demolish, I think, for the side of Echo Fox. No, maybe not. Crystal Sentry pushes Lone Delphi back and they don't pursue. They will turn to the Kraken and look to take her.
Should be able to do this pretty quickly with this Kestrel build as well. I mean, look at those Glimmer shots absolutely crushing the Kraken's health. It was the only move that Echo Fox could make to go back to base, but Nova knew exactly the amount of damage they could output with this Kestrel build. And, oh my goodness, that Kraken went down quickly there. No risk involved with that at all when you've got a weapon power Kestrel at 4 items.
No, not at all. The Kraken now pushing into the base. And this is it. This is the last defense that Echo Fox have this game. The Broken Myth hasn't been completed. You don't get any more time, Echo Fox. It's do or die at this point, or else we go to game 3 and Nova strike back. Looking to continue.
Erwin is drastically farming to just go and pick up that Broken Myth before the Kraken gets here. I think he's got enough gold now, Dowsey. I think he's going to pick it up. No, he doesn't.
He needs another 500 Scoundrel, so...
Oh, really? Oh, sorry. I thought for some reason, my eyes are getting tired.
There's the engage, though. Fearsome Shade pushes them back. Slater stays in the Gauntlet Wars. The Crystal Sentry is taken out. And here comes the re-engage. Another Fearsome Shade, this time blocked. Super Shot dancing around. Lone Delphi taking a lot of damage. Erwin trying to keep them all back, though. The Kraken is taking down this Crystal Turret and will take it out. Here come Nova, looking for the re-engage, looking to finish it now. The Kraken at half HP, Super Shot inside this Ordained, the Glimmer Shot's flying out. Erwin almost dead. Lone Delphi looking for the kill. The Mouse and Verdict's not quite connecting, but that one does, and so does the second. It's gonna be Lone Delphi finding Erwin. It's gonna be Super Shot dropping. It's Slater, last man standing, finds a kill for himself, but the Kraken has done the job. The Vein Crystal is exposed, and Erwin still does not have the gold for a Broken Myth. They shut down the Scarf, who was so dominant in game 1, and they're going to take this series all the way.
Lone Delphi, excellent performance on his Samuel, something that he has always performed well on. Starboy, again, having a great performance with this Echo Batiste, getting so much work done in these teamfights, controlling them so well. This is a composition that has worked for Nova in the past, and you feel like Fox going into this next draft cannot let them have the same composition again.
Certainly, Scoundrel. Nova showing up here